And welcome to episode 73 of Two Idiots Reading Comics. This week we're going to be reading Pulp by Ed Brubaker. Go ahead, hit like, share, subscribe, whatever you're listening on, watching on, all that good stuff. Comment if you're on the YouTube. Share if you're not on the YouTube. All, good algorithm things that help a lot. Follow social medias, Instagram and Twitter at Two Idiots RC. Facebook, Two Idiots Reading Comics. Just help us out, man. We're trying to grow. So, that being said, we're going to get in the show. And welcome to the best damn book club on the internet. My name's Ryan Talmadge. That's Davis Crocker. This is Two Idiots Reading Comics. And today we are reading Pulp by Ed Brubaker. Episode 73.
That's right.
Almost 75. This is a real fun one, Davis.
This was very different.
Very different.
Never read it. Didn't know about it.
No.
But it's gonna be fun to talk about.
Yeah. And also for the people watching on YouTube, we're gonna try to get through this episode without our light bulb going out. We don't know what the fuck's going on, to be honest.
But having some technical difficulties in the new studio.
Yeah.
Room everything
that we can't run the fan on because it messes with our
Fan's
lighting.
too loud.
But yeah. Ed Brubaker is the writer on this. Let's see who else we can credit. Well, shoot.
It's just 3. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is that the whole thing?
Yeah. That's
okay.
it.
Yeah, written and I guess written and drawn by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I'd assume Ed Brubaker wrote, Sean Phillips drew, and then colors by Jacob Phillips. And you know how indies are. They're pretty short. This one...
Image Comics.
Yeah, Image Comics. This one, I don't know if it was the first, but I think we've referenced the Ed Brubaker interview that was on Fat Man Beyond a few times on the show, both when we did something about Winter Soldier and then we did Gotham Central.
Yep.
But basically, Ed Brubaker got tired of not getting the money he felt he deserved from the big two, and so he went and started making his creator-owned comics, and this is one of them, and I think it's one of his best-selling ones. And so I was like, hey, let's go check this one out because I saw it in the store the other day.
And in the back, he's got probably about 15, 20 others. Some seem to be in a sequence arc or in stories together. A couple volumes of some stuff.
This one is just
solos.
a one-shot story though.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Basically, an old guy who grew up and doing like Western outlaw shit, and then
grew up in the 1880s and 90s out in Montana.
Yeah, and then I guess is moved to New York and is writing like 10-cent novels, and I assume going around the Great Depression. Yeah, it was 39.
39 would have been the end of the
Great
Depression,
yeah.
Going into World War One.
Yeah, World War II started like 42 or something like that.
Pearl was December 7th, 1941.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's when the U.S. entered the war.
Yeah.
But it talks about...
For those of you that don't know what Pearl Harbor is. Actually,
for the love of God, I hope you do.
Actually, you know what? I seem to remember a certain trivia game we had to play back when we were in college, and we didn't know what the year
talk about that.
The Declaration of Independence was signed.
We don't talk about that. We were both
we know it now.
Brains went a little fried. But yeah, so you've kind of... You're in the age of modernization, coming up on to World War II. The Nazis, fascist regime, and Hitler are starting to rise. But yet, that's not even the story.
Yeah, no.
That's not even where the story's going. That's just kind of the...
It's about this motherfucker that, like...
tip of it.
Has done, basically, in his life, everything he had to do.
If you've ever played Red Dead Redemption 2, he's Arthur.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's Arthur, and then
if he lives, yeah.
He gets out of it at the end and becomes his own man.
Yeah, starts writing stories about his times. But ultimately, this is about a guy who is worried about providing for his family,
Well,
which
his
I think,
girlfriend now.
yeah, family, yeah,
Yeah, family girlfriend.
um,
But his family was gone.
yeah,
Original family.
which I guess not the part where the original family was gone, but providing for your family, I feel like that's you can relate more to that than I can nowadays.
Yeah, it's definitely tough when he writes. So you start this off in a western
Yeah,
with Red the kid Red the
River Red or
River,
something, like
something like that,
that. And
and
heck,
they're robbing, trying to get out of town, and all of a sudden it cuts to New York, 1939, and it's an
it's a writer
it's
talking to
the
his
writer
the editor.
handing over his thing to the editor, and the editor going, all right, strike this in where he goes, has a life in Mexico.
Yeah,
We're gonna change it up, write it like he's going to
go on a next
go
adventure.
on his next adventure, and
Yeah.
they're gonna keep going. And his wages have gotten cut.
Yeah.
It went
From
from
like
say
10 cents to two to something.
from 25 cents to 20 cents something. His wages got
Yeah.
cut. So he still made $120
Yeah.
on this thing, and that was a lot. That's a lot for,
Oh,
but still, it wasn't enough
when it's only 10 cents a word.
well, right. I mean, and he gets hurt, and then he gets robbed because he's trying to do the good thing.
Yeah.
So now he has no money.
Because apparently New York was full of Nazis during World War II.
Yeah, and
How about that?
It was real.
Yeah.
In the back of this comic, it talks about what history we've forgotten, and the fact that Madison Square Garden literally had a Nazi
sympathy
rally, and
20,000
also had
people.
a fascist, anti-fascist, rally
yeah.
to counter it.
Yeah. And I guess enough people had asked him, is that real? And so he put pictures of like the rally and newspaper articles talking about it. So I don't want to hear any more Yankees talking about how the South is racist.
Right.
Y'all are anti-Semitic. So.
But besides the point, I mean, he wakes up in the hospital after getting beaten to death and loses all of his money, and now he has to go home and is like, I don't know if we're gonna make it this month. No. I don't know if we're gonna lose rent, if we're gonna make it from food.
And he's like, I'm going to go try to pick up a couple extra stories from the paper. And then finds out that the dude's nephew is now writing for 2 cents.
And they took his
story.
Took his story from him. And I felt like Brubaker wrote that in as a jab at.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise
definitely a jab at DC and Marvel going, hey, yeah, we wrote your contract saying that you can write for us, but we own the right to that character.
Oh, yeah.
You just happen to write for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do what the hell we want with the character and have whoever write it.
That paper doesn't know is that. No, it actually is Max's story.
And the biggest thing was where Max was getting paid 10 cents, this nephew's going to get paid a cent a word.
Yeah.
So 90% less.
He's just happy to be there.
Yeah, 90% less than what Max was getting paid. Yeah. So no shit they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then he tries to rob an armed car.
Rob an armed car.
By himself.
Yeah.
With like 3 days of planning.
And then the Pinkerton that used to chase him back in the West.
Stops him.
Yeah, stops him because he's been looking for him.
Yeah. And then, so now the two of them have this little trust dynamic of, okay, well, you tried to hunt me down. Now you want to be friends. And at the same time, it's against the Nazis. So, okay, we have to be friends. Not have to be, but we want to be friends to stop them.
Nazis have to be the best all-time villain.
They're the easy villain. I mean, why not?
I don't think best. Easy. But at the same time, you can't do the cool things like you see in some movies where, like, actually that villain had a good point. And
there's you can't, here it's, okay, they're the villain, and they have to be stopped regardless.
Yeah. And you don't feel bad for killing them.
Not one bit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this story's really good. They eventually, what the Pinkerton tells Max is that, this Nazi sympathy group is sending money over to Germany, and that convinces Max to go try to rob them. Turns out And it was just like supplies and like flyers
It was
and
flyers and supplies and propaganda material.
shit. Yeah.
Where, but in there they had the ledger for all the accounting.
Oh yeah.
And the Pinkerton's name's Jeremiah Goldstein.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, look at all these super rich and famous people
that are really contributing.
Mm-hmm.
So his main objective was to get
That
the
book.
ledger, and that way then he could start pulling the big names from their high tower.
Yeah.
Which he then succeeds in doing, but at the same time he has double crossed Max.
Yeah.
So
which he
made
ends up
it
making,
right with
he made it right.
But at the same time,
he put like $10,000 in his bank account at a time where $10,000 was $8,000 was like $1 million during the Depression.
Yeah.
So.
And gave him a deed to a house in Queens.
Yeah.
With a yard for him and his new girlfriend.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you piss off a lot of powerful people, especially Nazis, they tend to kill you.
Come
So
after you.
they went and got the Pinkerton.
Well,
and that's when Max had enough.
The big thing was when the whole reason that started was in Jeremiah's condo.
Oh yeah.
The sister
one of the Nazis also
was
the guy that beat up Max
from the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought that was him.
Yeah.
Throws Jeremiah off the stairwell and kills him. And so Max is like, you know what? Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Puts everything in his girlfriend's name or wife. They never really say.
Yeah.
Puts it all in her name
Rosa.
and goes and takes care of business.
Yeah. And,
I would say he took care of business and lost at the same time.
Well, if it was one of those like Clint Eastwood ones in Gran Torino where he's like, I know I'm about to die, but when I go here and do what I'm about to do, or in Gran Turismo, he goes and acts like he has a gun, but his finger's in his jacket after they beat up the kid that he became friends with or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they shoot him, and then he pulls out his hand like this, and he's like, oh, you shot an unarmed old man. Now you're all going to fucking jail.
Right.
And basically cleans up the block just by sacrificing himself and stuff like that. Max walks into this Nazi bar and he's like, obviously at some point they're going to overpower me, but I'm going to take out as many people as I can.
Because the big thing when they show him when they go to the first safe house, he's got a 6-shooter and Jeremiah's got a double barrel and a pistol. They never really show what it is. And Max makes a point that when the guard pulls out a normal modern age pistol with a clip magazine and it can repeat itself, he realizes, oh shit,
we're not in the Western.
Yeah,
there's no bantering back and forth.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, this isn't going to be as easy. And then when he goes into the bar to finish it, he's going in with a 6-shooter and a double barrel against 30 guys. So he knows it's a suicide run. He just gets to go out with his story on his terms.
Yeah. Avenging a friend he didn't really know he had. So.
Yeah, that was a quick friendship.
But it's a great, like, quick story. I mean, I think it was...
it had to be under 100
Yeah, it had to be under 100 pages. I don't even think they split it up into issues. So. But definitely check it out. I mean, it supports an independent artist because I don't think Ed Brubaker is going to be welcome back to Marvel anytime soon.
No, because they ran this with Image.
Yeah. Fuck, that was short. We got to kill some time there, Dave.
Kind of.
Well, this might just be a quick episode.
What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
The style is.
I like when they
cool.
go back and forth.
When, of course, they go Old West.
Western.
They go Old West when they're talking about the Western, and when they're in their modern time, it's that 1930s.
Yeah.
What you'd imagine seeing a
style.
1930s newspaper style movie or comic being.
But I mean, I thought it was awesome. It's just about a dude that wants to provide for his family and then also stick up for his friend who helped him out. So.
Yeah. To still show that there is good in the world when at this time good is failing very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck the Nazis, I guess. I don't know what else to say.
That's pretty much it. Fuck the Nazis.
Yeah. Also, New York. Fuck you. Why are you gonna fucking have Nazi rallies?
Had a banker that was paying off most of the Nazi shit.
Yeah.
But
didn't they say something? There was a quote by Henry Ford too in there that was
Well, Jeremiah
problematic.
says that he was let go from his job because Ford says he didn't want a Jew doing his accounting, and then his powers
Which is
that
weird because
be,
stereotypically,
you would, yes,
yeah, you got where we were going.
But then when Ford doesn't want him anymore, his own company goes, well, if Henry Ford doesn't even want you, then we're not going to hold on to you anymore. And so they axe him as well. And he takes it personally, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up says, I don't want a Jew doing my accounting.
Yeah.
And
then goes and takes down Nazis, which cool.
So it's a cool story. It's quick. I know we don't have a whole lot to talk about it, but it's fun. You just get kind of an odd.
How this hasn't been picked up for a movie yet? I don't know.
Like you said, it is a very Clint Eastwood, Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah, it is a western. It's legit western.
My whole life, I've been chilling. Now shit's starting to go bad in my town, and now I'm gonna do something to try to clean it up.
Yeah, it's the modern day western. Yeah, it's legit. Sorry for the quick episode. Hopefully we got you through at least like half of your drive to work today. But I can go ahead and tell you next month, because next month will be December.
Yep.
At some point, I'm making the executive decision. We're gonna do Spider-Man and like Spider-Verse Spider-Man story.
Ooh, okay.
Because the Spider-Man movie's coming out. I want to say December 3rd, which means we probably should have done it this week. Who knows? I don't know how the calendar matches up, but we'll be doing that for the first month of December. Hopefully, try to hit that algorithm just right. Maybe
that'll work.
Because the one time we hit the
movie,
the one time we hit the algorithm right was with Invincible,
and that was an accident.
And I was like, I know it comes out this month, but I don't know if it's the right week. And it was literally 2 days before the show came out on Amazon, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, this show is crazy!" That helped. We did numbers on those shows, and for like the next 2 months. Yep. But it would really help us out if you shared, subscribed, all that fun stuff. Our social medias are 2idiotsrc on Instagram and Twitter. We're gonna try to do a better job posting on there. I say that we've said that multiple times.
We're still a work in progress. We're still trying to figure out the flow and how to do this and trying to get better for y'all.
Also, if anyone wants to run our socials for free,
sure.
Maybe we'll blow up and start paying you. Who knows?
If you're overage, I'll buy you a beer.
Yeah, we can do that way easier. But I guess that'll do it for this week. Amazing or whatever Spider-Verse. I can't remember if it's Amazing Spider-Man, Regular Spider-Man, or Spectacular Spider-Man, or Ultimate Spider-Man, or
all the 100 different other ones there are.
Sony PlayStation Spider-Man, or whatever Tom Holland Spider-Man. Whatever it is, that's what we're going to be reading next week. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.